Fuck. Woohoo! What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I am not under any delusion. I did not go into this finale expecting all of a sudden the quality to shoot up, right? I wasn't expecting to all of a sudden get an episode of the quality and writing of the first two seasons. But boy, I must be the definition of what? Dumb? Stupid? I come to these episodes and I almost expect to get something better. I almost expect that, hey, maybe this time they'll give the fans something that is of quality. Nope! This is the series finale, not just the season 9 finale, not just another CW Arrowverse finale. No, this is the series finale of pretty much the end of the Arrowverse. And I cannot believe the garbage, the garbage that I watched. This is called A New World Part 4. What a waste. So at the very beginning of the episode, we see Professor Zoom, Godspeed, Savitar, and Reverse Flash all arrive in this, well, it's Joe West's house. They eventually say that it's the Negative Speed Force, but it's just the set of Joe West's house. And why would these particular villains all arrive in a Negative Speed Force that looks like this house? It doesn't make any sense. It's not like any of them, when they died or when they disappeared, that it happened at this house. It's not like any of them have really spent a lot of time in this one location. This just shows the low budget cheapness that the Arrowverse is now at, that CW is now at. They couldn't even have these characters be on a green screen that just looked like, hey, it's supposed to be the Negative Speed Force. How about it's just black? Or how about it's just nothing? It's devoid of color, it's devoid of objects because it's the Negative Speed Force. That would make too much sense. Hell, it could have even just been a random cave. You know, you couldn't have built a set that looked like a cave. The Bat Cave that you use for Gotham Knights, just reuse that and redress it and Anyways, so these villains, some of the best villains of the entire series besides Godspeed, that villain sucked ass. And the Power Rangers outfits did not go away. It just, boy, did these outfits all look like shit. And then Eddie Thawne arrives and says, aha, I'm the one who brought you all together because I have developed this crystal and the speed and blah, 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 and we're going to get revenge on the Flash. They all laugh and terrible dialogue. At least they brought back Tobin Bell and Tony Todd's voice, even though it was like maybe, what, 1 or 2 lines each. At least I got to hear that for half a second. And when Eddie Thawne comes into contact with Iris and Barry, and they're going back and forth, Iris says, I got 3 words for you. Run, Barry, run. And my first thought was, fuck. Remember when that phrase was so emotional and so fucking awesome in the finale of the first season? Every time they brought it back, it just gets dumber and dumber and dumber. And it doesn't help that when Iris says 3 words, technically it's 2 words because you're saying the word run twice. It's the same word. So you're really only saying 2 different words, Iris. Fuck. So Barry and Eddie speed run, which we've seen 175,000 times on the show. Barry and another speedster zooming around the city. They do that, and they wind up in this random area. And somehow, not only does Nora West show up, but the entire group arrives at the same location where Barry and Eddie just happened to be. Like, how did you know that they were going to be there? They were running around in speed. huh? And so you have Barry's team and everyone's in costume and they're all badass. And then Eddie Thawne brings in his Legion of Doom, if that's even what they were calling themselves, all of the villains and dun dun dun, what are we gonna do? And of course, I'm not going to say that I felt like this big epic moment. I'm not going to say that I was like, oh man, this is like Avengers Endgame, right? Of course not. I don't think anybody here was watching this and thinking, oh shit, this is awesome. I mean, but even I couldn't believe how fast these villains were defeated. We're talking about the final bosses of every season that these villains were in. Savitar was the big boss of season 3. Professor Zoom was the big boss of season 2. Godspeed, as much as he sucked, he was the final boss of season 7. In Reverse Flash, I mean, my god, not only was he the final boss of season 1, but he's come back multiple times. And the way how they defeat them, it completely undoes the previous seasons and the previous times that it took Barry forever to defeat them and how easily he was being outsmarted, out-tricked, and out... Like, what? We're talking about Nora, right? Nora easily defeats Savitar. They try to fake you out by showing that, oh, Savitar is recreating the Iris death with her, but she was able to phase the spear through her and she just jumped out of it and stabbed him. Does Nora even know that Savitar is like an alternate variant of Barry, of her father? Does she even know that? Does she even know that that's who she killed? It doesn't matter because we just fucking breezed by it. Cecile is the most powerful superhero of all time. She not only defeated all of Godspeed's clones, which again was supposed to be a big deal and hard for Barry to do, but she just mind-fucked Godspeed and just knocked him out. Huh? You're telling me that Cecile has been able to do this whole time? Reverse Flash, he electrocutes Chester. And it's one of those silly moments where he's just like, yeah, you know, like kind of like when Palpatine electrocutes somebody and he just does it for like 15-20 minutes and it just looks really silly. And I'm like, what's the end goal? Are you trying to kill Chester or what the fuck are you doing? Allegra shows up and she of course is now super OP badass mode. At least I can kind of explain in my own head that she was so angry of seeing what happened to Chester that she just blew up her powers. But once again, it's like too little too late. You know, how many times has Allegra gotten her ass kicked in previous episodes and now she's super OP and she defeats Reverse Flash. Allegra defeats Reverse Flash. Holy fuck. And then we're supposed to think for like 2 seconds that Chester's now dead. Oh my god, he's dead. Even though we saw in the future that they are happily married and still together and still look the same 25 years later. But, of course, he wakes up. Oh my gosh, Allegra's so happy. Oh, Chester, they make out. And Chester, she says, you came back to me. And he goes, always. Da, da. Camera spinning around them as they're kissing. This is fucking garbage. This show has turned into the biggest steaming, stinking pile of dog shit ever. Eric Wallace, you're the showrunner, right? You're the cause. You're the reason why these last 5 or 6 seasons has sucked balls. Fuck you, Eric Wallace. A waste of my goddamn time. Those first 2 seasons were so fucking good. Jay Garrick, John Wesley Shipp, he arrives, probably the best moment of the episode. He shows up and he not only helps Barry, but he steals the speed from Eddie Thawne, which I'm like, fuck, he can do that. I mean, he said that he just learned this from his doppelganger, which is a reference to the 90s show. Cool. But I'm like, okay, fuck, we could have used you a long time ago there, Jay Garrick. All right, great timing. And then Eddie Thawne's like, well, fuck, I need to make myself the fastest man alive, right? So he sucks the speed from all of the other characters. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention that Professor Zoom, in this shitty moment when all of the cops and the captain, who they haven't done shit with that female captain character in like 2 seasons, Keon and fucking Mark, who didn't do shit in this episode, they have him cornered, cornered, and he does this weird zoom around, and the CGI looks so bad. The way how his body is herky jerking around in a circle to launch this lightning at Keon. Keon puts her hand up and absorbs the power and then just throws it back at Zoom and knocks him out. Zoom. Remember in season 2, this had to have been within the first half of the season, where Zoom beat the holy living fuck out of Barry Allen. I mean, beat him up, took him around to all of these various landmarks and in front of a civilian so that they can see Flash's near dead body. He broke his back in front of everybody and then left him for dead and took off. Like, that was some holy shit stuff. And he's... what the fuck? You ruined all of these awesome villains, all of these awesome threatening characters at one time. This sucks! And so Eddie Thawne, he just sucks up all the speed from every single villain that we just saw. So, what the fuck? And then he just disappears. And then they're all talking about how, well, I mean, Eddie Thawne, he's just going to absorb all of this speed force and kill himself. He'll explode. And so everybody's like, all right, well, cool, bet. Let's just have him do that. And Barry's like, no, I have to save him. Oh, fuck. Dumb good guy syndrome. Dumb superhero syndrome. Now, granted, I know even Batman and Superman have had these moments. I'm not going to pretend. Spider-Man, right? Some of my favorite superheroes have had these moments where they probably should just let the villain kill themselves or fuck themselves over, but they have to save them. And so, of course, you have to admire that. Barry, when he's Grant Gustin actually has this nice acting moment where, for some reason, I know this has been 9 years of his life, so that's probably why, but this show does not deserve the emotion that you're giving in this one speech where he's like, I need to save him and I need to do this and that. And then Keon, the worst character in the history of characters, Keon gives this whole fucking speech about how nature needs to coexist with one another, and then nature needs to be all kumbaya and la di la. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Keon? What the fuck? You suck. And I hate saying that because I love Danielle Panabaker, but fucking hell, man. And she goes, by the way, Barry, I can bring you to the negative speed force. Huh? You can? How? How do you know that? Why can you do that? Keon can do anything that the plot requires her to do, besides the moments where they say to her, hey, can you do this? And she goes, no, my powers can't let me do that. Fuck you, Keon, you overly convenient of a character. So Barry arrives in the negative speed force, which this time it looks like Barry and Iris' apartment. This is the speed force, folks. It's the same sets that we've been fucking watching for the last fucking 10 years. And Eddie Thawne is becoming OP, and he's getting angrier, and he starts beating the holy fuck out of Flash. And Barry says, I'm not going to fight you. So Barry is willing to die and willing for Eddie to just kill him and then take over the fucking world. What was your plan, Barry? But he lets him beat the fuck out of him. Blood even squirts on the wall. That was gross. And then Barry kind of reminds him that, hey, you've become the villain that you killed yourself in order to stop. I did like that moment. I did like just the idea of fucking Eddie. He did kill himself to be a fucking hero. Like, I really admired that Eddie Thawne character from the finale of season 1. So to throw that back at him of like, you've become this piece of shit that you were against. I liked that, and I did like that is what worked. I liked that it made him think about that, and it reminded him of his last dying words to Iris was, I just wanted to be your hero. Great moment, right? But he went from being so fucking angry and livid and enraged to just like, all right, Barry, we're going to be fucking friends now. Like, it was so jarring. I appreciated what it was that got him to come back, but just the switch was so like, fuck, can we pace this out a little better? But no, this was the first half hour of the episode was all of this bullshit, right? And then the rest of the show was Iris gives birth to Nora, which was a nice moment because it's like they've been building up the whole idea of them having a kid, and so fine. It was weird that Nora was there in the hospital, and even later on she's like holding herself as a baby. Like, it's fucking weird. It was. It's like, this is okay? I guess so. And there's a weird moment where Joe West shows up. Cool. I like that actor. Joe West is holding the baby and he's singing to the baby. And then Iris is watching her father sing to her baby. And then they cut to a bunch of, like, a montage of her and Barry, like, being in love, all of the moments from throughout. And I guess they just wanted to re-show you all of these moments from the entire series. But why there? Why at the moment when Joe and the granddaughter is having this nice moment is Iris sitting there thinking about her and Barry's entire relationship? It wasn't the right time to splice that montage in there. But whatever. The group figures out that Chester only survived the electrocution from Reverse Flash because he potentially has powers too. What the fuck? Even he's like, am I going to become a superhero? No! Why does everybody have to become a goddamn fucking superhero? We didn't even bring back Cisco. They didn't bring back one of the most popular characters, especially for a side character, in this entire series, and they didn't bother to bring him back. Or he said, fuck it, I left for a reason, I won't even come back for the fucking finale. And they're all having a party, and Joe West decides to propose to Cecile. And I was shocked because I thought they were already fucking married. I was like, oh, wow, they waited this long to have these two characters propose? A Wells shows up. A Harrison Wells shows up. I couldn't figure out if he was a time traveler or if he was the representation of the Speed Force because he came in with the green tint. I was fucking confused. Which Wells is this? He talks to Keon and he says, all right, Keon, it's time for you to leave. Say goodbye to your friends. Huh? What are we talking about? And Keon's like, oh, well, I know this is the way that nature goes. I know that this has to happen, but, oh, I'm sad. Where is she going? What? Huh? Keon says goodbye to the group, and then she turns into like a fucking tree, and this glow light is going off, and it's like a tornado inside of the fucking Star Labs. And I'm like, what's going on here? I was sitting here watching the episode, and I out loud said, what the fuck is going on? And then Keon disappears, and Caitlin is standing there. What the fuck? Did they really do this? They really just brought Caitlin back randomly from the dead. There's even a moment where somebody was like, how is this possible? How? And Chester goes, well, Keon said she didn't need the body anymore, so I guess, fuck you. Fuck this show. Fuck off with that bullshit. This sucks. This finale sucks. This wraparound sucks. This whole getting rid of Caitlin to have this shitty Keon character only to bring Caitlin back at the very end is all dumb, dumb, dumb. And in the very end, Barry, I guess, gives away his powers? Or does Barry still have his speed? It was weird. He's talking about how he wants the city to be safe, so he throws lightning into the air, into the clouds, and then he hand chooses 3 random people that we've never seen before. Or have we seen them? I didn't know who the fuck they were. But he chooses them to, I guess, become speedsters? Huh? What? So I thought to myself, did Barry just give up his fucking powers? Is that the finale? But then the last shot is Barry in his Flash costume running So I don't fucking get that. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know why he gave away his powers. If he wanted to give other people speedster powers, why wouldn't he just give it to the fucking people on the team already? Why wouldn't he give it to Chester? Why wouldn't he give it to Allegra? This is fucking terrible. This is atrocious. This is the worst finale that I've seen on the CW, on the Arrowverse. I remember being disappointed with the Smallville finale because of the lack of Superman that we got. I remember being disappointed by the Arrow finale because it felt like it was less of a finale to his show and more of a let's set up Crisis. And Legends of Tomorrow didn't even get a fucking finale. They just got canceled. So this blows. This is how they end the Arrowverse. This is the ending. God damn. Woo, fuck. You know what? Thank God it's over. That's where I'm at right now. As much as this sucked, as angry as I am, there's also another part of me that doesn't have to fucking deal with this bullshit anymore, that can move on with my life, that I can just feel free. I'm free from reviewing CW shitty Arrowverse shows. And you guys are too. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the Season 9 series finale? Did you agree that it sucked gigantic balls? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later. Oh, yeah.